Okay, so glad to be with you. And again, Debbie, Sharon, thank you for coordinating. I know it's been some time trying to get together, but I think us meeting now is obviously timely. And Sharon, as you'd mentioned, I've been in the space almost 15 years now, and spent a good portion of my time at Salesforce working on perfecting the art and science of building web and mobile against Salesforce. And so, fast forward till now. The past, we'll call it 2 years, essentially has been focused on that, but mainly in the provider space and the payer space, and we've developed a product called Enlyt Health. So Enlyt Health is currently being implemented across many mutual customers, and as Sharon said, Digital Front Door has really been the primary set of use cases that we've led with, right? So Bon Secours Mercy Health, we have some going on across Centene. We're kicking off, actually last week, we kicked off Dallas Children's and Takeda. So there's a good mix, right, of provider. There's also, biotech, and you can see Humana down on the right-hand side there too for a series of use cases. And each one of these customers are leveraging us because we clearly have a set of tools, essentially a mobile platform, right, built on all of your tool sets at Salesforce that allow them to start at 60% done, essentially get, these applications into the hands of those who need it most, either patients or donors. And from that perspective, we're giving them a huge amount of speed to value and really solidifying their investment already in Health Cloud and all the various tools like Marketing Cloud that they're purchasing from you folks. So lots of really good activity around the Digital Front Door. And the one thing that you're seeing on the top of this slide, right, is Enlyt Health Lite. So all of us, I think, that we're focused on healthcare have a really unique opportunity. And, it's really amazing to see what Salesforce has done in the ecosystem and donating product and pivoting essentially to serve the need, right? And so what we've done as well is we've created a light version of our product. I'm going to demonstrate that today for you real quickly. But basically, it's a really quick play for, yes, large providers, so folks, who have more than 100 providers, or what we've also noticed is that there's a huge gap in resourcing and technology investment by some of the smaller types of providers. And so we're offering that up. We've been offering it up, doing a lot of marketing around that. And so for us, it's a perfect opportunity for us to give back and serve just like Salesforce is doing. So with that really quickly, just some updates beyond the customers. So we've developed some really key strategic partnerships, and the ones I want to highlight are obviously on the right-hand side, right? So my company, Trifin Labs, again, has been a service organization for a lot of years. It is, front and center when implementing these types of Digital Front Door tool sets, but also we've had really great success with Silverline and also Deloitte, right? The two combined essentially have about 30 folks that are certified on our framework and our tool sets, and really serves as a way for us to scale, right? There's lots of demand for the tool sets. There's lots of demand for your tool sets, and the two of those combined plus a great partner is a huge win for all of us. So the other part of it, like I was talking about, is Enlyt Lite. And, one of the key pieces that, we're seeing is proving value is clearly telehealth, right? We've had integration and partnerships with American Well, but for a smaller provider and or just someone who needs to get something up and running quickly, minus all of the, huge legal and, obviously there's vetting and security and all those things that still need to take place, but we wanted to make it a much more seamless and easy process. And so we're trying to help folks retain the oxygen for their practices and their businesses by giving them another tool set that not only just does telehealth, right, but it also tracks the patient, it builds the profile, and continues down the path for, great, we're in times of chaos, let's fast forward another 6 months, hopefully we're out of chaos, and now it's a mode of connection, communication, and just one way to be authentic, again, with patients that they have not been doing up to this point. So that is Enlyt Health Lite. Very similar to the rest of what we're doing across the board is, our telehealth tool sets are front and center for these sets of use cases, and they plug into essentially all of the Salesforce clouds. So yes, all of the Marketing Cloud capability, the Health Cloud capability, Service Cloud capability, being able to, in context, pull together all of the telehealth, the patient information, and essentially complete that set of use cases, all directly inside of Salesforce. So we are, actually launching, and this actually has launched our own telehealth solution directly on Salesforce. So no longer are we reliant on another third party to not only provide the provider experience that sits directly here inside of Salesforce, but then also the patient experience, which I'll show you here in another few minutes. They don't need to go anywhere else, right? It's one stop between patient, in context of CRM, inside context of marketing automation, inside context of Health Cloud, all together. So with that, I'm going to jump to a demo. And does anyone have any questions while I jump into this? All right. So what I wanted to share is Enlyt Health Lite. So again, this is a much more pared down tool set than our full Enlyt Health digital front door offering, right? So you'll notice just down at the bottom here, I've got providers, visits, and essentially account information where I'm collecting, potentially that patient record that's flowing back into Health Cloud. So for this demonstration, I'm going to create a telehealth visit. So I'm going to find some availability for a physician. Now, one of the things I wanted to point out on this particular screen, so we're assuming, right, in our telehealth tools, that we have a provider who is logging into Salesforce, right? So that gives us an opportunity now to get providers into Salesforce. Again, it could be in the context of a service set of use cases, but again, like I said, all of our tool sets plug at the very core of the platform, so that regardless, we've got in context in Salesforce that experience. So again, I'm going to go ahead and just quickly schedule, if I can get to it properly. Why am I not getting to my provider here? All right, finally. So essentially going in and actually looking at full availability, right? And so we are providing these scheduling tool sets. It could be Lightning Scheduler. It could be some other type of tool set that the customer wants. But the whole premise about what it is that we're doing at Enlyt Health Lite is really deploying this anywhere between 3 and 5 days, right? So we get a customer, they're interested, they need something quickly, they need to be doing triage, for patients. All of this essentially can be stood up in a matter of days, right? Instead of 4 months, which it typically takes our digital front door, where we're integrating to Epic, Cerner, back-end tool sets and so forth. This really serves the immediate need, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to go forward and actually schedule day. Go ahead and confirm that. Schedule that. All right. So what we just did essentially is integrated all using our framework directly back here into the platform. So if I go and I actually look at my calendar, I'm going to see a whole series of events across the board for today, tomorrow, and so forth. And you can see this is just a demo org that we have. But essentially, if I wanted to, let's kick off one of these. And I'm going to actually, from the patient perspective, launch our demonstration. Okay. So directly from our records in Salesforce, and pardon the blasting your ears here, essentially we are able to launch telehealth directly from in context inside of Salesforce. And all of this information is tracked. And again, all the goodness that we have, of the core Enlyt toolset, all of the Google Analytics, all of the Firebase tracking, integration to Marketing Cloud, Audience Studio, we want all of those really critical pieces to understand how people are using the tool sets. But for us to get this up and provide a service for an immediate need is really what we're doing, and we're doing that in a matter of days. So this changes the game essentially on how it is that we, yes, digital front door, we're going to continue selling in that fashion. Obviously, those are bigger cycles and a much bigger type of engagement. But given the nature of, Salesforce's commitment to its customers, we're doing exactly the same. So if there's a need, if you guys, have customers who could benefit by using this tool set, we'd love to put it in their hands and would definitely want to talk with you further after this call. But so just to put it simply, very, very basic, but again, it pulls all of the patient context directly into Salesforce and lets us go about doing actual patient engagement and not just telehealth alone. So the other parts that I wanted to mention is, what you're seeing here essentially is, all HIPAA compliant, SOC 2, these, tool sets, the infrastructure that we're using, Epic uses, Amwell uses. So essentially, we're creating this and doing this directly in the Salesforce space so that all of us can, directly engage and make it more about the patient in the context of Health Cloud and Salesforce tool sets.
So Scott, this is more extensive than I thought on the telehealth side. And of course, a lot of our customers have reached out to us with regards to telehealth. Several of them have American Well or others. How do you work with that? Or how do we complement that? And or how do we have that conversation if they don't have those? It's kind of a multi-tiered question there. Yeah.
So we do have Amwell baked into the core of our tools as well. So it's literally just, hey, do we need the Amwell package or do we need the Enlyt Health package? And that's really it. So if customer tells us that they have an existing Amwell relationship, super easy. They're a great partner of ours, and we can get that set up no problem. So very, very similar, the setup is really what's different, but the experience would be identical.
Interesting, because our Amwell, we have not really had much success, and the team can probably correct me if I'm wrong here, but we've not had much success with them on those conversations. So if that's a connection that you can help with, because some of our biggest providers have Amwell already, if we can tie that in, that'd be fantastic.
So they're overwhelmed. To be quite honest, they're very overwhelmed, right? And they just have tons of activity. And even on some of our customer implementations, it's been challenging trying to work through certain things with them just because of the situation, right? So I don't know if that's pre-COVID or not, but that's been, our contacts are, hard to get a hold of. I'll say that.
Yeah, all of them are. Agreed.
Yeah.
And how does this work? I mean, just so the team knows, I think I understand the answer to this. They have Epic, they have Cerner, they have other tools that already have kind of a lightweight patient app. Explain to the team how this works with those current solutions like MyChart, for example.
Yeah, so we basically take MyChart SDKs and drop them directly inside of the Enlyt toolset. So any of the clinical data, medications and even messaging, right? To use a couple examples, like my team has gone through, like at Mercy, for example, and implemented the MyChart SDKs into our tool sets so that, again, you've got all of the goodness of Health Cloud, Marketing Cloud, and essentially extending really the limitation that MyChart brings to the table. And so, obviously, we need to have the blocking and tackling, which is MyChart. So that's how we do that. We bring it into context, and we're able to use their tool sets.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah, Sharon, this is Jeff. Hey, Scott, I was on a call last week with a company called SiteCall.
Yep.
They do telehealth functionality, but they have their own app. And I asked them if they ever worked with you, or I don't know if you've ever heard or worked with them. But could they embed that telehealth functionality into Enlyt?
Yeah, they could. They totally could. And if, what we're doing too, and I didn't show partners that are providing, point utility, meaning, companies like Zelf and some of the other groups, right? But we are actively partnering with other technology companies that are providing a piece of the puzzle, right? That we're ultimately tying all together. So I did see your note. Yeah, we have not worked with them, but if you wouldn't mind making an intro, I think we'd be interested in chatting with them and seeing, how they could basically fold their tool sets into the product.
Okay, I will. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple other things, right? We are innovating a ton, right? So, you go basically back 6 or 8 months ago, and the product has come a long way. We've already released Enlyt Health Lite. What is upcoming are a whole set of new capabilities around chatbots. HIPAA Compliant, obviously going to be in the context of Salesforce. So patient self-assessments and hopefully deflecting, obviously, folks going into the ER around certain symptoms and so forth. And essentially a symptom checker plus self-assessment that is smart enough and intelligent enough either to escalate, create cases for, move on to appointments and so forth. And that basically we're rolling out in another 2 or 3 weeks. So we're continually innovating and trying to, as we hear of these needs that our customers have, we are rapidly assessing and kind of expediting what our product roadmap already looks like, right? But because there are folks that can benefit from these now, we're trying as much as possible to help. So again, similar context is everything is Salesforce, right? At the point that we need to create appointments or we do need to schedule some other type of appointment or follow-up or in person, we can certainly go about doing that with the Salesforce tool sets. But that